Hi, welcome to Monday My Classroom. Today we're going to talk about vocabulary. I don't think I've ever met a teacher that's like, yes, I get to teach vocabulary. But I've got a system and I'm going to share it with you, and so maybe by the end you'll be going, yes! Or maybe not. A teacher can dream, right? So my kids would come in on a Monday, and up on the board there would be vocabulary words. They would have to take the vocabulary words that were up on the board and plug them into a T-chart that they would create themselves. The T-chart would have 3 categories: I know it, I think I know it, and I have no clue. They would put the words into the appropriate category or column for them. All of the words that were in their I know it column, they would then need to write a definition for. The definition needed to be in their own words. They couldn't go to a dictionary, they couldn't go to dictionary.com, they couldn't ask their best friend what it meant. They needed to create a definition from scratch out of their own head. If they found that they could not do that when they started the process, they would then need to move the word to I think I know it or I have no clue. Words that were in the I think I know it column were words that they had encountered or words that they had a limited knowledge of, words that they understood the feeling of but not necessarily but weren't necessarily capable of explaining to somebody else. So there's a lot of words that we have in our vocabulary that go in the I think I know it column. Words that we use but we don't necessarily own. No clue, that's self-explanatory. This is a word that they've never encountered before or that they don't remember encountering and they need to study it. All of the definitions that they write for their I know it words are then shared in the classroom. Now you can do that in different ways, whatever works for your class. For my kids, I found that it was very helpful and actually inspiring to go around the room and just share the definitions that we had written and compare and contrast our personalities and our word choices based on, what we had written for our definitions. So we would share them out loud, and then I would say, yes, you know that word. You don't need to do homework on it this week. Or, I don't think that word means what you think it means, so you need to move it to I think I know it or I have no clue. All of the words that they know, they don't have to study for the week. They know them. If they encounter them on a quiz, they'll be ready. All of the words that are in the I think I know it and the I have no clue column, they need to study for the week. So how will they study that for the week in a meaningful and proactive way? They're going to make a PowerPoint slide for every word. Each slide is one word. So if they don't know 15 words, they're going to make 15 slides in a week. Most of the time, though, they end up making about 5 or 6, sometimes less. So they've got a word. They prominently display that word. They write a sentence that demonstrates the meaning of the word. They find an image that demonstrates the meaning of the word. They give as many forms of the word as they possibly can and as many synonyms and antonyms of the word as they possibly can. And they create an in-text citation for that image that they used, unless they draw it themselves, in which case that's even better, actually, drawing it themselves. They also, each week, create a works cited slide. So they're getting MLA practice, they're getting vocabulary, and they are learning how to evaluate their own knowledge so far with this process. Once they have had ample time to finish this PowerPoint, because for my kids it was in addition to reading homework and sometimes writing homework as well. I would say that if I assign this to them on a Monday, if they did their T-charts on a Monday, then they would have a check-in on a Friday. Check-in means that their PowerPoint is done for all intents and purposes, and I'm going to check it and make sure that their words are being learned correctly, that they actually are learning the correct definitions of the word and that they're using them correctly. I would give them the go-ahead then, or I would say, I think before Monday you need to look that one up again, or whatever. Then we would have a quiz on the following Monday. I would make these quizzes cumulative. So there would be 2 or 3 random words from week 1 in the week 2 quiz, and then in week 3 there would be 2 or 3 words randomly chosen from weeks 1 and 2 until they had reached, the last week of a unit, and they were being quizzed on random words from the entire unit in addition to all the new words for that week. This is an incredibly valuable tool. It helps you in so many ways as a teacher. The first time that you set it up, it might feel a little time consuming, but after that, it's such a machine. It will run itself, and your kids are going to retain vocabulary. They're going to use vocabulary. They're going to recognize new words. It's just an incredible system, and I promise you it works. You can use this in any subject. I obviously have done one for The Catcher in the Rye, for a novel unit study, because I taught literature. But if you want to use it for foreign language or for science, for anything really, you can tweak it and make it your own. And I hope that you do, and I hope that you have a system now for vocabulary that's going to make you go, yay! You can see that there is the vocabulary PowerPoint for Catcher in the Rye. My vocabulary PowerPoint is attached as a attachment. That was a terrible sentence. There is an attachment of the Catcher in the Rye PowerPoint for you to peruse if you like, and you can use it as a jumping off point for any vocabulary system that you want to use yourself. Tweak it, make it your own. Have a wonderful week. This was Monday My Classroom, and I hope it was useful.